South Korea is trying a radical new economic approach. A top South Korean official, senior presidential secretary for policy, Kim Yong-byung, said in a social media post, has proposed a dedicated AI profit social tax. Essentially, the argument is that since tech giants like Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix are seeing the profit skyrocket due to global demand for high bandwidth memory chips. A portion of those excess profits should be taxed to fund social safety nets for workers displaced by automation.
This follows China's legal rulings earlier this month, stating that employers cannot just fire workers because AI is cheaper. But the human element in South Korea is hitting a flashpoint right now. Samsung's labor talks have also completely collapsed over a bonus formula dispute, and a massive 18-day worker walkout is scheduled to begin on May 21st, running through June 7th. While the US failed to tax the rich, South Korea is doing something different. We'll see what happens next.
This is a massive looming risk, even as chip stock optimism jumps following the Trump summit. An 80-day strike at Samsung could completely disrupt the global supply chain for AI memory hardware. You can build the best models in the world, but in the factory floor, walks out, the whole machine grinds.
Okay, so this is interesting. What South Korea is doing could be something that other governments would like to see them do. The problem is that this is only for South Korea. How does a country that does not make chips, that does not get a lot of excess profits, that all of the revenue from using AI is shipped overseas? How does that get taxed? And like, how do we control that? So it's like search engines and websites and whatnot that's posted overseas, and money goes overseas. How does governments tax that? So some countries are going to benefit this more than others, especially because they are the manufacturing of chips, or they have the factories as well located there. So yeah, it's an interesting idea, but not everyone's going to win on this one.
This is very interesting because the gap is getting wider and wider. So maybe it's this time the government to be more wise and put the social tax to the what's called filthy rich.
So this is very interesting. What South Korea is doing, taxing the rich is a rather popular populist slogan, but I don't think everybody is going to benefit from this because so far, if other countries try to copy this, the only ones who they can tax would be the manufacturers, and they're not in all the countries; they're only in some, like uh, like Indonesia for one. We don't have a lot of memory manufacturers or AI um, uh, startups or companies. So how do you tax that? So something like this, where you manufacture or when you're producing the chips, that's something that's easy to track. But if you're offering a service, if you're buying a service from overseas and you're using it here, for example, how do you tax that? So that gets very complicated.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough, yeah, because this is also something new. Because when somebody getting richer, is it really that government should tax them? Because everybody has the right to be richer. I mean, a tax is good if can be for the social net program, but we just make sure that the tax policy is already right. So I think to make it special tax is gonna be tough, man.
I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, in all countries, roads, healthcare, well, in some countries, roads, healthcare, services, all of that, it depends on tax. So as long as people pay their equal share, if you ask me, this is not a socialist argument. This is a capitalist argument because having all these services for people, daycare, all that kind of stuff is good for the entire community that will then be productive to make new products, innovative products, and all that. That is where I see a lot of countries can do better in that one. But in this case, it's still like we're still in a bubble. This whole thing can still go just not collapse, but just slowly deflate. And we're maybe seeing a slow motion car crash in front of our eyes.
So do you think it's already the air bubble is already deflating, or it's still blowing up?
Let's see what the IPO documentations for Anthropic and OpenAI comes out and see the market reaction.
I'm sure it will be good, man. It will be great.
Remember WeWork?
Yes.
Right. So let's see what happens.
But again, let's back to taxes because I think some countries already implementing like the hierarchy of the taxes. So when you get more money, you will get a bigger taxes. But some countries very open. If you get more money, get bigger money, they're open to have like just be my citizens and you will get a lesser tax. There's going to be another challenge, man.
Yep. There will be definitely.